Have you spent years chasing one technique after another, trying to manifest your dreams, only to feel like you're staring across a vast, empty chasm? You read the books, you do the affirmations, but the life you desire remains just out of reach. What if the secret isn't about getting things from the world, but about awakening to your own power? Neville Goddard's final teachings revealed a profound truth. The world you see is just a shadow, a reflection of your inner state of consciousness. The real awakening happens when you stop begging the universe for scraps and realize you are the rightful heir to all creation. You are the source, the animator of the shadows. Today, we're not talking about manifesting a car. We're entering the sanctuary of pure consciousness to explore the 8 pillars of this ultimate knowledge. This is the end of your search and the beginning of your sovereignty. You're not learning a new skill. You are remembering who you truly are. The first error that keeps humanity in a state of bondage is the persistent belief in an external God or a universe that possesses a will of its own. Many people approach manifestation as if they are trying to convince a higher intelligence to grant them a favor. They believe that if they are good enough, or if they perform the technique correctly, this external power will reward them. Neville was emphatic in stating that there is nothing outside of your own consciousness. The I am within you is the only God that exists, and any belief in a power external to yourself is a form of spiritual idolatry. When you seek validation from the outer world or wait for circumstances to change before you allow yourself to feel good, you are effectively denying your own divinity. The final awakening requires you to withdraw the power you have given to the stars, the economy, the governments, and even your own parents. Nothing in the world of Caesar has the power to make you happy or sad without your imaginative consent. Neville's insight was that responsibility is total and absolute. If you see a world of problems, it is because you are currently inhabiting a state of problem consciousness. To overcome this trap, you must become incredibly vigilant about to whom or to what you are attributing power. Every time you say something happened because of an external factor, you are creating a false idol. The master recognizes that he is the primary cause of everything he experiences. The world is just a mirror that cannot change what it reflects unless you first change the image standing before it. The awakening begins when you look into the mirror and, instead of trying to wipe the glass, you choose to clean your own face and change your own expression. Most spiritual teachings speak of connection, but Neville spoke of radical unity. This is not about being connected to God. It is about being the individualized expression of the totality. There is no separation between the thinker and the thought, or between the observer and the observer. This realization fundamentally changes everything you know about desire. If you desire something, it is because consciousness already possesses that reality in a higher dimension and is attempting to express it through you. The conflict that many feel when manifesting comes from the belief that they need to attract something from a distant location. But in the radical unity of consciousness, there is no out there. Everything you perceive as external is actually occurring within the vastness of your own mind. The final awakening is the realization that you contain the entire universe within yourself. When you change your self-concept, you are not just changing yourself. You are reorganizing the entire structure of the reality you perceive. Indifference. The other is not a stranger, but everyone is you pushed out. The people you meet are merely actors playing roles that your assumptions have assigned to them. If you want the world to be kinder, you must first inhabit the assumption that the world is already kind. You do not need to ask anyone's permission to be what you desire to be. As the only consciousness, your decree is the final law. Radical unity eliminates the need for competition, struggle, or effort, for there is no one to compete with except your own past assumptions. The great shift that Neville Goddard brought to his mature teachings was the move from getting to expressing. The average manifester is always focused on how to get what they do not have. They live in a state of perpetual lack, using techniques to try and fill an internal void. The awakened master, on the other hand, understands that they already are everything they desire to be. Manifestation is not the act of bringing something new into existence, but the act of allowing what already exists in the imagination to become visible to the physical senses. When you shift your focus to expression, all effort disappears. You stop visualizing to make something happen and start visualizing to experience the pleasure of the reality you already possess internally. This is the subtle difference between success and failure. The pressure of needing the desire to appear in the physical world is exactly what keeps it away, because that pressure is a confession that you do not have it now. The awakening requires you to be so satisfied with your internal reality that the physical manifestation becomes a pleasant detail but no longer an essential requirement for your happiness. Neville knew that internal satisfaction is the most powerful magnet in existence. If you inhabit the state of being loved, successful, and healthy simply for the imaginative pleasure of it, the world will have no choice but to reflect that state. You are no longer trying to manipulate the world of shadows to obtain security. You are radiating your internal security into the shadows. It is the difference between a flashlight trying to find light and a flashlight realizing it is the source of the light. One of Neville's most misunderstood concepts is what we can call divine indifference toward the 3D world. This does not mean being apathetic or cold, but rather not being moved by the physical appearances that contradict your assumption. The awakened master knows that what he sees with his physical eyes is merely the residue of past thoughts. It is an echo that is already fading away. Therefore, he does not react to problems or delays with fear, because he knows that the new cause has already been planted in the imagination and must come to fruition. Divine indifference is the ultimate proof of true faith. If you rush to check your bank account every 5 minutes after a visualization, you do not have faith. You have anxiety. The one who has truly assumed the state of the wish fulfilled does not need constant proof, for the internal experience was real enough. Neville taught that we must walk as if what we desire were already a fact, completely ignoring the evidence of the senses that denies that truth. It is this unwavering persistence and the unseen that forces the seen to appear. This lesson is what separates the amateurs from the initiates. The amateur is a slave to his senses. He is happy when things go well and miserable when they go poorly. The initiate is the master of his senses. He maintains his mood of success, even in the face of apparent failure. He knows that the bridge of incidents may include events that seem negative, but are necessary for the final result. This sovereign calm in the face of chaos is the sign that you have finally understood what Neville knew, that your imagination is the only substantive reality. For Neville Goddard, the loathsome manifestation of desires was merely the primary school of the spirit. The true reason we are here is the promise. While the law deals with how man uses the power of God to obtain things, the promise deals with how God awakens within man. Many manifestation channels focus only on the law, but Neville, in his final years, was almost entirely focused on the promise. He realized that no matter how much you manifest, you will never be fully satisfied until the Creator awakens within you. The promise is the guarantee that eventually, each of us will have the same mystical experience as Neville had. The birth from the skull, the meeting with the Son of God, and the realization that we are the Father. Understanding the promise gives you an eternal perspective that makes daily worries feel trivial. When you know that you are God Himself undergoing a human experience to expand your own joy, you stop taking life so heavily and seriously. Manifestation becomes a playful game rather than a struggle for survival. The final awakening occurs when you integrate the law and the promise. You use the law to shape your world into beauty and abundance, but you keep your eyes on the promise, knowing that your true identity transcends this world. This removes the desperation of needing to manifest in order to be someone. You are already the all. Manifestation is just the decoration of your eternal palace. This is the peace that passes all understanding, and it was this knowledge that shone in Neville's eyes in his final lectures. Many people use the concept of everyone as you pushed out to try and manipulate the behavior of others, but the profound meaning is much more transformative. It means that there is no one to forgive but yourself. If someone treats you poorly, they are merely reflecting your own assumption that people treat you poorly or your belief that you are unworthy of respect. They are messengers, bringing you news about the state of consciousness you are currently inhabiting. The final awakening requires you to take judgment away from others and direct it inward. Instead of trying to change the difficult boss or the cold partner, you must change your conception of yourself in relation to them. Neville taught that if you change your self-concept, other people must either change their behavior toward you or leave your world entirely. They have no free will to resist your imaginative decree, for they are not entities separate from you in the unity of consciousness. This leads us to cosmic responsibility. You are the author of the script for every person who enters your life. When you understand this, you stop complaining about others and start blessing them in your imagination. By seeing the best in others, you are evoking the best in yourself. The master sees no enemies. He sees only fragments of himself that still need to be brought into the light of harmony. This is the knowledge that allows you to transform conflict into peace, without saying a single word in the physical world. One of the greatest paradoxes of the spiritual path is that the act of seeking is exactly what prevents you from finding. The seeker is someone who affirms, by their very search, that they do not have what they are looking for. They are always reading the next book or waiting for the next seminar. Neville Goddard knew that the final awakening requires the death of the seeker. You must reach a point where you declare, I have found. I am that which I desired to be. The death of the seeker is the moment you close all the books and stop listening to all the gurus, including Neville himself. You enter the silence of your own heart and assume the authority of the I Am. You stop asking for techniques and start dictating reality. As long as you see yourself as a student trying to learn how the law works, you will be in a state of inferiority to the law. The master does not study the law, he is the law in action. This transition is terrifying for the ego because the ego loves the process of seeking. It loves hope and the promise of something in the future. But divinity only knows the now. To awaken, you must have the courage to say it is finished before you even see a single physical sign. You must abandon the identity of someone who is trying to manifest and assume the identity of someone who has already manifested. The end of the search is the beginning of real life. The final chapter of Neville's knowledge is the assumption of sovereignty. This means you are no longer a pawn in the hands of fate, karma, or luck. You are the king and the priest of your own universe. When you make an assumption, it is the final law, and nothing on earth or in heaven can revoke it except you yourself through doubt. Sovereignty means you no longer look around to see if anyone approves of your dreams. To be sovereign is to understand that your imagination is the original creative force. There is nothing to be overcome except your own self-imposed limitations. The final awakening is the recognition that you are never fallen, never separate, and never less than the totality. Your entire life has been a dream that you yourself designed in order to discover who you truly are. Now that you know, the dream can become whatever you want it to be. Neville Goddard left us with a message that man is God asleep, and that the sleep is coming to an end. Sovereignty is your natural state. As you end this day, ask for nothing more. Instead, give thanks for the fact that everything you could ever desire is already yours. Walk with the dignity of one who knows that the I Am within is the invincible power of creation. The final awakening is not something you earn. It is something you recognize. You are free. You are sovereign. It is finished.